Are you tired of the same old sports media? Are you tired of hot takes, arguments, and questions that are just completely off base?
Luckily, we have something for you. Touchdowns and tangents of the people, for the people, by people who care about the culture and all its concise commentary.
What's up, good people? Touchdowns and tangents. One half PD Camarillo here in Hawthorne, California. And of course, on the line remotely, we got the one and only Kenneth Frank James Berry. What up, Kenny?
Kind of chilly in Vegas.
Is it? It's kind of chilly over here, too. It's been on and off.
Wasn't even hot today, though. That was the good part.
But yeah, man, Kenny's out doing his thing at the Pac-12 championship game last night, the Mountain West championship game earlier today. We'll get to that a little bit later. But in the meantime,
Let's talk about it.
Anything pressing you want to talk about, Kenny? Anything pressing you want to talk about?
Yeah, no SEC team should get in the playoff.
Damn, like that?
Like that. Shouldn't happen.
Can you really?
They're making.
Can you really knock Georgia out after losing by 3 points to Alabama?
They didn't play anybody. Well, you lost to a team that lost to Texas. So, and if Texas beat Bama, then I mean Texas could have beat Georgia.
And then can you really knock out Bama if they beat the number one undefeated Georgia and won their championship? Which
because you lost to Texas.
By all college football bias is the best conference.
You lost to Texas.
So
you lost head up to the team.
So
I'm not ranking somebody. Let's talk about ranked Oregon against Washington, even though they lost by 3 points. Oh, Oregon was a better team. But
yeah, but win? Oregon has 2 losses, so that's different.
And their only losses are to who? The only undefeated Pac-12 champion in history. So if we're really stacking it up, Oregon's losses look much better than Alabama's. But Oregon didn't lose to anybody. Oregon beat Boise State, the Mountain West champion. They blew them out. And they beat a bunch of other schools. They beat all the schools that Oregon beat all the schools that Washington beat, and beat them more impressively. They beat USC more impressively. They beat Oregon State more impressively. They beat Arizona.
Well, first off, they're not putting both Oregon and Washington in the playoff.
I know that, but I'm saying Oregon is the metric for like a team.
So if anything, even in your scenario, it would be Washington, Michigan,
I give my top 4 right now.
Michigan, Florida State, and Texas.
Yes. And that hurts me.
You really want Florida State in the fucking playoff?
Are they undefeated?
Are they going to get smacked and have the
wins and losses matter?
The middest quarterback in the group?
Do wins and losses matter?
Not in the ACC.
No, they won their championship. Wins and losses matter. So if they don't matter, then a 2-loss Oregon team is better than an undefeated Florida State team. See, this can get really bad. Ohio State. That's another one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where do you draw the line? Like, no SEC team should be in the playoffs based on their rules.
Yeah, I think you're just biased. You want Oregon in there, bro.
No, take Oregon out. Like, Texas should be number 4. The top 3 is already set to me. It should be 3 undefeated. There should be 3 undefeated teams that are undefeated and won their conferences, and then Texas, because Texas beat Bama. So if beating Bama doesn't matter, then apparently Bama's trash and they don't matter. If Texas beating them isn't impressive, and they, oh, by the way, they beat them in Tuscaloosa. Did I forget to mention that?
I think the think the twist in your whole thing, or well, might actually make your point though, is the fact that Texas is currently ranked ahead of them, of Alabama. So can can you really have Bama leap Texas
You can't go
if,
from 8 to 4.
even if you beat number one?
No, you lost to the team that you lost to them at home.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying is you can't really have Bama leapfrog Texas if one, Texas beat them head to head, and two,
Fair. They want a straight up
they're
fade.
behind them in the standings headed into the week, and Texas won decisively. So it's like can't really take anything away from Texas.
Exactly, they beat a ranked team in a title game decisively. Oh, and the crazy part is, Sark didn't win Coach of the Year. Mike Gundy did.
So what will be? So what happens if they just throw Ohio State in just to fuck everyone else?
That would be trash too, but I guess I'll take it since they only lost to Michigan and they all played the same teams. But I think Ohio State and Michigan should have to play each other again.
Yeah, you know what would make this?
It shouldn't be a situation where like Michigan and Ohio State don't have to play each other. So if they win both their games, one of them is going to win a national title.
You know,
no, you should punish them by making them play each other again.
You know what would make this all better?
If Iowa had won,
if we just had an 8-team playoff.
Yeah, or the top 6.
An 18 playoff. Yeah.
My bad, I dropped my phone.
No, I was saying if they had an 18 playoff, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Well, the SEC got what it wanted. Because I'm telling you, straight up, Oregon would clap Bama. They're physically tough. And Bo Nix was out there. When Bo Nix ends up a Raiders QB, y'all gonna be mad, but it's coming. I see it. I see it happening.
But real quick,
either a Patriots or the Raiders.
But real quick, before we jump more into college football, let's just recap some of the things that have happened since we last connected. First off, Thanksgiving games were kind of trash. The halftime shows were especially trash.
Jack Harlow's trash.
That fucking igloo. I don't know why Jack Harlow was on the igloo. I don't know why Dolly Parton was half naked. And I don't know why Steve Aoki caked the fucking mascot, bro. That shit was wild.
He cakes everybody.
No, I know that.
I know that.
I know that. That's his thing. But what I'm saying is, he really didn't have to do that to the mascot. Like, that's kind of corny.
Nah, well, that's why he's there, because he's corny.
There's no crowd. Exactly, there's not even a crowd. That defeats the purpose if there's no crowd. The whole point is you just throw a cake into a crowd and it hits whoever it hits. Not like, oh, I'm going to cake this one person in the crowd. Like, that's just fucking weird.
Yep. Do it.
But yeah, anyways, outside of that, man, last Thursday night, Dallas, Seattle. Sorry if you're playing against Geno Smith this week. He dropped a cool 30. The Dallas defense, low-key, got spurned for the first time in a little bit. And Seattle didn't even have Kenneth Walker, which is crazy. But, yeah, man, I think that was probably one of the better Thursday night games of the season so far. We actually got points, which was nice.
Give them that. And they're the only team in history to score 35 and not punt and still lose.
That's wild. All right. Otherwise, moving on, we got Monday Night Football, Bengals, Jaguars coming up. Who you got, Kenny?
Jaguars. Their quarterback, Jake Browning, is ass. Shout out to Folsom, state of California, but
yeah,
that team is dead in the water. They might as well just tank the season, get a high draft pick, and cool out.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jacksonville as well. The over-under is 39. I'm going to take the under.
Even if ETN doesn't play.
I'm going to take the under.
If ETN doesn't play that game, I'm going to take the over.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, college football, Kenny. Where you want to start?
Hey.
So go ahead.
All right. So, Boise State, ironically, one team who, if it wasn't for the computers and them beating San Jose State, they would have never made the Mountain West title game. But not only did they make it after firing their head coach Andy Avalos, after he beat New Mexico 42-14, and then Danny Gonzalez, New Mexico's head coach, got fired too. Spencer Danielson took over. He has the unequivocal and immediate and just instantaneous respect and trust and love from all his players. It's funny. Ashton Genty, he had 157 yards rushing today.
He's a baller.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, the next great, how's it feel to be the next great Boise State running back? Because he might be the best one. Respectfully. Pro-wise, he could be the next one. He has vision, he has balance, he runs with power. He's only a sophomore. And he's I think he might be the only person with 1,000 yards, 500 yards a season. He's up there. So there's him, Taylor Green, who had an up and down year, very up and down, got benched. Personally, a lot of people, I think they kind of were giving up on him too early. Fan base was trashing him. He comes in against, technically the greatest UNLV team since the 80s. They haven't won 9 games in pretty much our whole lifetime. Their starting receiver, Ricky White III, pretty much set the single season receiving record for UNLV. He has I think he finished the season with 1,400 receiving yards.
Let's play the soundbite.
Yeah, they won. By the way, Boise State won 40-40.
Touchdowns to Kansas Network.
It was competitive
for Taylor. Obviously,
they're laughing at you, dog.
Coming on the scene, playing in big games like Fresno State, things like that, and then today,
in my throat.
6-6. What do you kind of?
I'm gonna slap this dude if he smirks at you one more time, bro.
Plays in the mountains again. I remember sitting in the seat on the blue and looking at defense. Not really trying to press, but not really trying to.
What's it like knowing you're pretty much next to line? Great Boise State running back.
Great running backs that came here, they couldn't do it out there.
Man, Kenny, we got to work on you. We got to get you a tripod or something, my boy.
Low-key, my hands started getting tired.
I could tell. You probably had your hand on the speaker.
I should have.
You had your hand on the speaker. All right, here's the Boise State interim head coach after the win.
Over Coach Avalos. What was it like following, kind of, finishing his dream that he wanted for the season, but also it's your dream too. You wanted it, and then kind of
So a lot of things I'll figure it out even out of those talking to, but I knew we had 2 weeks. Who knows what happens? Then some teams. Men that trust each other, love each other.
what's the biggest? What are you most excited about in terms of the LA Bowl? The Mountain West has never lost that bowl game, and you get to go to LA.
Dawson's going to be able to go back home, and it's just another opportunity.
Damn, dog. Just the exclamation on the hot coffee in Andy's face. Boise playing the LA Bowl.
I mean, and it's crazy because, hey, by the way, I told you I was going to get the question in. Secondly, yeah, they ran for 300 yards, bro, today against UNLV.
Yeah, they've been running the ball all season.
George Halani almost had 100. I think he had like 80. Taylor Green had like 95. That 70-yard run really broke their back. They never really kind of got close again after that touchdown. Then he had a couple touchdown passes late. And then Gentry really got going in the third and fourth quarter. And, 157 from him. It is what it is. UCLA, Chip Kelly's going to have an announcement after their bowl game because, USC signed their defensive coordinator away from them.
Damn.
And I think that was the only reason why, Anthony Lynn. He's the new defensive coordinator at USC. It was announced. I guess he was announced today, but.
Damn, that's a great move.
Yeah. Scary move. Lincoln Riley might have saved his job.
That's kind of fucked up, though. Like, how are you going to announce that before the bowl game, though?
I mean, the regular season's been over.
But to the rival, bro, like, it's not even like, oh, you're going to the SEC, bro. Like, you going across the street and you telling us 2 weeks before our last game? I'll be like, get your shit and go, bro. Like,
decide what they're going to make him do.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think he's coaching
that should be some tampering shit, bro. I don't think that's
not really.
That's right. I think it should be.
I mean, how can you call it tampering if Chip Kelly might get fired?
Because that means they're having conversations. Like, how you gonna hire my defensive coordinator, bro?
Hey, dog. If somebody took, excuse my language. If somebody took, no, because Nikki's probably listening. If somebody acquired your woman from you,
wow,
and they offered
you said
more money,
acquired woman. Wow, this man is going back. This guy is going back to the fucking 1800s.
Okay, so if a billionaire pulled up on your girl right now, she's still your girl?
Anyways, Kenny,
Exactly,
I'm not
exactly.
talking about
That's the point.
fucking ownership and bartering women, bro. What the fuck?
Okay, what do you think coaches are? They're bartered too, bro. You act like these coaches all live in the lap of luxury. They answer to somebody too. They can be bought off too. He probably was offered he was probably given an offer he couldn't refuse.
Well, obviously,
like
that's
else.
besides the point, though. My point, though, is the fact that
Coaches all the time.
the conversation even happening like that during this time, like that's nasty.
It's the end of their season,
bro. If UCLA did that shit to USC,
season.
Bro, you would be saying the same thing.
Like, touche.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, that's nasty
I've done
work.
It before. Yes,
You'd be like, that's nasty work.
Tosh Lupo.
You'd be like, finish out the season, bro.
Do you remember what happened with Tosh Lupo when he left Bama? He was supposed to go to SC. I think UCLA ended up taking him or something like that, or Oregon. He ended up usurping somebody and going to Oregon. He chose what was best for him. Like, that's plain and simple.
That ain't got nothing to do with it, bro. You're missing the whole fucking point. The point is, the shit could have waited 2 more weeks, bro.
No, it couldn't.
Yeah, it could have.
No, they needed a defensive coordinator. And, like, literally, all they needed has been kicking his back in, saying, like, this dude better have a D coordinator. You got to go into the recruiting cycle. The portal opens up Monday. If DeAnthony Lynn got an offer from USC, it must have been something he could not turn down and refuse. Therefore, it's not tampering.
But yeah, no, it sounds to me like Chip Kelly's out of there for sure. So
yeah, and I think that's why he probably took the job, because he knew, like, this dude might not be around. And, like, I'm surprised Lynn didn't take a head coaching job. I would have been, if I was San Diego State.
Exactly. That's why it's nasty, bro.
But I mean,
well, he's probably making more as a D coordinator there than at San Diego State as a head coach.
That's the Boise State argument, bro. That's the Boise State argument. We've been over this.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm going to use your point against you. Not against you, but I'm going to use your point. Yeah, it would be cheaper to keep him, but it's like when we went to see some, bro. Like, they fired Reggie Theus. If they could have got Rick Pitino, I think they would have done it. But they didn't even try.
The fuck are you saying, bro? I don't know what your point is.
Boise State, ideally, if Chip Kelly gets fired, and I said Boise State would have been a great option if they had the money, but they don't have the money. So he who has the money can pay whoever he wants, whatever he wants, and that makes it fair because it's college football.
But what I'm saying is,
morally unfair.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What I was saying is, Lynn is probably going to make more as a defensive coordinator for USC than he would as a head coach at San Diego State.
What's more important?
Well,
would you rather be a head coach at San Diego State and you might get fired in 3 years and you go back to being a D coordinator? Or do you put on your resume, maybe he's trying to be an NFL head coach. Hey, I went to UCLA and fixed their defense and made Latu a first-round pick. Then I went to USC and gave them top 15 defense and made them national title contenders. And they got a quarterback out the portal. By the way, Cam Ward's in the portal.
Well, yeah, that, and you're also going to make more money than you would at San Diego State. That's what I'm saying, Kenny.
And USC has more to offer you than San Diego State.
Kenny, are you even listening to me, bro? I'm literally saying the same thing you are.
No, I'm saying the same thing you are. I'm not arguing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying for all those reasons, that's why those schools that had openings wouldn't even offer him an interview probably. Because, like, what can I offer you that you can't get at SC? Why would I waste my time interviewing?
But that's why it's nasty.
It's
nasty that the announcement came out this early. That's all I'm saying. He could have waited 2 weeks.
Pressured. No, he was pressured. Lincoln was pressured to get a defensive coordinator like yesterday. Like, think about it. Tulane. I don't know if they won the conference title today. I didn't look. But Tulane is a better team this year than they were last year. They would stomp mud holes in USC right now. Last year, nobody said that. I didn't say that. Nobody said that. We said USC will beat them by like 3 touchdowns because it's Caleb Williams, right? And that defense, right? What happens? Your defense Nobody even like Caleb Williams not having a defense is almost bigger than the entire impact that his career had at USC. Because they're always going to throw a butt in his face. He never played for a national title. He never won a Pac-12 title. Like what Ohio State tried to do to C.J. Stroud. Oh, he never beat Michigan. Marvin Harrison Jr. He never beat Michigan. Is that his fault?
All right. So moving on. Pac-12 championship thoughts. What was the atmosphere like?
It was electric.
What will you remember?
It was the last one ever. I left there with something. A name tag. And most importantly, like Washington is the best team in the country to me. I would say Washington has the best resume out of anybody.
So from when you saw them a few
Michael
weeks
Penix
ago,
is QB1, by the way. He's QB1. There's no more debate.
What do you take away from Washington from when you saw them when they played USC to now?
Their defense will bend, but they make plays. Their defense doesn't break; they make plays. Now their defense was gassed when they gave up that 58 touchdown to Trayshawn Holden. That was just a bad defensive lap. The tackling was poor, but when you have poor tackling late in games, it's usually because their defense is tired. But the offense, the offense always was able to run the ball. Like I would say Washington has the best offensive line in the country. They should win the Morris Award, not Michigan, just because you can run the ball great. But like J.J. McCarthy is mid, so like if he was anywhere else, he wouldn't uplift the program. But if Michael Penix was on Michigan, I'd be like, they're unbeatable. So, and Michigan runs the ball way better. But yeah, Washington to me is the clear-cut best team in the country. They're statistically and on record the last Pac-12 champion ever, the greatest Pac-12 champion ever, and they finish with the second most Pac-12 titles behind guess who? USC. They have 38, USC have 39. Go figure.
All right, and Oregon?
Oregon is a really great team. They just unfortunately play in the same conference as Washington. Oregon's going to be a problem in the Big Ten, and don't be surprised if they knock off Michigan and Ohio State next year. If they get a quarterback, obviously Troy Franklin's probably not coming back. He's a junior. He's like the greatest receiver in school history. Legit burner, legit first-round pick. I don't see him coming back for a senior year. He'd be kind of dumb if he did. You got Bucky, the running back, who's really good. Multiple 1,000-yard rusher. The defense, Tosh Lupo is a great coordinator. Like, Dan Lanning has built a tough team. Like, they're built like an SEC team in the trenches. And their corners are really good, even though they have a lot of injuries. Like, they just need a quarterback, and we're going to be right back in somebody's face. Wouldn't be surprised if Dante Moore wanted to go up to Oregon. They already got a 5-star up there in Thompson, but Oregon could beat every team in the top 10 except Washington. Convinced.
All right.
Like, if Oregon was in the SEC, it would. If Oregon could win the Big Ten. I'm dead ass saying that. Bo Nix is a better player than J.J. McCarthy.
All right. Well, moving on. There's a few head coaching and updates that Nikki's put on here, so I'm just going to read through them. And if you want to chime in on any, you can, Kenny.
Go for it.
But Indiana named Cignetti their head coach. Oregon State promoted their DC Trent Bray to head coach. Eiko named Tamu head coach. Yes, I know I said Tamu.
I need you not say. Yeah, I really need you to not say that. You live in the South Bay. Somebody will come to your house.
Michigan State hired Jonathan Smith as their head coach. Houston fired Holgorsen. Indiana fired Allen. Tamu fired Bobby Petrino. Petrino somehow is going back to Arkansas as offensive coordinator.
They didn't fire Petrino. They fired Jimbo Fisher.
I think they just fired Bobby Petrino.
Petrino didn't work at Texas A&M.
That's what the rundown says.
He got hired by Arkansas he got brought back by Arkansas.
No, he was at Tamu.
But I'm saying he wasn't like
he was at Tamu,
he
bro.
might have been like he was an assistant, senior advisor.
I don't know, but he was at Tamu, and now he's at Arkansas.
Like a coaching cockroach.
Pretty much, college coaching cockroach.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oregon State's quarterback and Duke's quarterback are entering the transfer portal. Williams declaring for the 24 draft, a game-time decision. Shedeur Sanders missed the Utah
Williams?
game. I'm assuming Caleb.
No, Caleb hasn't said anything.
Okay, Kenny.
Oh, I would know if he said something. I mean, it's a couple different guys who have declared.
He literally said a game-time decision. That's literally the quote, Kenny.
Nikki wrote that.
No, he literally said, it's literally the quote, Kenny. He literally said a game-time decision 3 days ago.
Ugh, that's even worse. I thought it was a second-hand story. That's nasty. Bro, just say you're not playing. You're not a game-time decision. You're not playing. That's, now that's something to be mad about.
No. Something to be mad about is you not trusting your producer and your co-host and assuming that we're wrong. How about that?
Nah, it was more like cognitive dissonance. I don't want to believe
bro.
it.
Yeah,
I don't believe. Who would say that? Like, if you're a starting quarterback for a team, why would you say that? I would have zero faith you're going to play if you say that. Right?
I don't know, bro.
Imagine
it's Caleb Williams, bro.
No, bro. Go back to your high school years. If your quarterback said that, do you think he's playing? I don't know. I'm a game-time decision. What, bro?
No, he's talking about the draft, though. He's talking about the draft. He's not talking about the bowl.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the bowl when you said that. I'm like,
no, bro.
I'm on my phone. I'm looking at the rundown. I'm on my phone. I'm not looking at the rundown right now.
I don't see you in the document, but okay. All right, moving on. Touchdown or turnover? Hold on, let me find the sound. I don't think any of this is really a touchdown or turnover. This should have been in Let's Talk About It. So we can revisit that after.
Let's talk about why this is a touchdown and why it's not.
All right, but yeah, Zach Ertz was released by the Cardinals. Hopes to sign with a contender. Touchdown or turnover?
Touchdown. He's probably gonna go back to the Eagles.
Feel like either there or Baltimore.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, Mac Jones benched again. Touchdown or turnover?
Water is wet and I'm fat.
Feel like what team do you feel like?
Talk about Mac Jones is a turnover.
What team do you think will try to redeem him next season as a backup? Denver?
The Chiefs. They trade him to the highest bidder who really needs a QB.
Pretty much. All right, Panthers fire Frank Wright after a 1-10 start. His reign as Carolina's head coach only lasted 11 games. Touchdown or turnover? Touchdown
for him. He gets paid either way. Turnover for the Panthers because David Tepper's a horrible owner. He's fired like 3. I think he owns a soccer team or something like that in Charlotte, and he's fired like 3 of those coaches too.
Yeah, and he started his press conference with, really, I'm a patient man, and I hope my next coach is a coach for like 30 years.
And the funny thing is, his coaches, Frank Wright wanted C.J. Stroud. Tepper wanted.
There's some conflicting reports on that, but yeah.
Allegedly, because the wife liked him, and like it was a good pre-draft meeting.
Yeah, there's some conflicting reports on that. I think the biggest thing though is Wright just got fired from Indianapolis, and you hired him. So it's like you didn't even stay with the course. And not just that, but like you just drafted the number one quarterback, and you leveraged your whole future. So it's like it's clear he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing because you try to make a rehash, and then you double down on it, and now you didn't even let it play through. So it's like.
But that's why most of these people are stupid, because how can you rebuild? How can you have a star player?
Well, it's gonna be like Justin Fields. Like now you got to find a head coach who's gonna come in and try to redeem Bryce, and then it's like even if they get Bryce playing well, if he's not in the playoffs in 2 years, that coach is gonna get fired, and then you're gonna be talking about a new quarterback and a new regime all over again. So it's just like a vicious cycle.
They're going to say Bryce Young is a coach killer. And it's like, wait, if you gave him no options and no weapons, how is he the problem? You didn't build shit around him. You didn't even want to sign. They don't even want to re-sign Brian Burns, bro. Everybody else, Montez Sweat got paid before Brian Burns. And probably think about that, bro. So my thing is, shit, if you really want to talk about it, let's just say the Panthers are dumpster fire. Like, people think, oh, you could be the worst team in the league and get the number one overall pick and it turns your fortunes around.
They're commanders adjacent, pretty much.
Worse than the Commanders. Think about it. How long is it taking for Cleveland to be a perennial playoff team since they drafted Myles Garrett?
They still haven't figured it out.
That's my point. So it's not enough to just draft a guy first overall and not build around him. And they got a historically great defense, and Nick Chubb got hurt. That's their only downfall.
All right, Jason Pierre-Paul joins the Miami Dolphins. Touchdown, turnover.
God is blessing that man. He's supposed to win in life. Blew his fingers off. Still got 100 sacks and a Super Bowl, and he's in Miami, so it's tax-free. I'm proud of Jason Pierre-Paul. He went to South Florida, too. I'm proud of that man.
He wasn't that bad at last year in Baltimore. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was solid.
He doesn't fit their scheme as much as Clowney does. Clowney's having a resurgent year.
For sure. All right. The Texans claim Derek Barnett touchdown and turnover.
And they were going to trade like a 5th-round pick for him or something like that.
Yeah, I'll say it's a touchdown, too. I feel like they got a hodgepodge of pass rushers, and I feel like he kind of fits that mold.
Okay.
All right.
Got an extra body. He might get a new contract.
And the one near and dear to our hearts, Raiders release Marcus Peters, touchdown or turnover.
Touchdown. He can go to a competitor that actually needs him and won't let him play out of position. Because when you're a veteran, then what you're doing stuff you're not used to doing, you're not gonna like that. So in this case, made all the sense in the world. Like, I'm pretty sure the conversation went something like, "Yo, you mad at me for not tackling? Your linebackers don't fucking tackle."
Pretty much.
Spillane be getting lucky with them. Spillane gets the 4 most lucky interceptions in a linebacker's career.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's a turnover from this aspect. I mean, you pretty much been saying the Raiders season's been dead in the water for like 6 weeks. But statistically, it's really not. And I think getting rid of a player that's still better than most of the corners on the roster, I don't think that's a great message, 1. 2, to your point, yeah, you can't put all the tackling on your DB. 3, I think Peters should get some credit for really that whole DB room, like really elevating itself and really just having much more swagger about itself and playing a lot smarter. Like overall, I think a lot of people want to make jokes about the tackling and stuff like that, but it's like, you know,
you don't even tackles if you're getting interceptions.
Exactly, and not just that, but Peters is renowned as one of the most high IQ players in the league. And we talked about it off air, but I think the decision was made during that game. Like, I think whatever they said, whatever was said, and Pierce probably said, "You're done here," and then they dabbed it up at halftime, and Peters was just like, "Yeah, I'm done. So why am I gonna follow the huddle? Why am I gonna follow the ball? Like, I'm done. Like, they told me I'm done."
Like I saw what Aiden O'Connell did. We were up 14-0 on the Chiefs, and we didn't take advantage. I'm out of here.
So I don't know. And honestly, I mean that's the other point too. You want to talk about the linebackers, but the offense has been putting the defense in tough spots all season. They've been playing just good enough and making just enough plays to kind of get themselves out of those tough situations. But
if the Raiders had this defense, if the Raiders had this defense last year, they would have made the playoffs and won 12 games.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%.
And we would have never got rid of Derek Carr. Shout out to Saints fans. Fucking dumbasses. Trying to tell you. You thought she wasn't going to cheat on you, huh? You thought she was special. You thought he wasn't a dog. Now y'all both hurt.
But I think Peters could go to, unfortunately, I think he could go to the Niners. I mean, they just worked out Anthony Averett, which is like a DD's discount version of Marcus Peters.
Don't even disrespect him like that. He runs a 4.35 and doesn't get picks but went to Batman.
Yeah, something like that.
He got like 68 tackles.
I just mean he's a big
52 hands.
I just mean he's a big corner.
Peters ain't a big corner. He's like 5'10".
He's not 5'10", bro.
5'11".
He's not 5'11", bro. He's 6'1".
I'm tall. I'm taller than Marcus Peters. I'm taller than Marcus Peters.
You want to bet?
Fuck out of here. I'll bet.
What
My mom went to high school with his family.
What we betting?
Food. What do we always bet? Food.
All right, let's go right here. Football Reference.
I'm not gonna bet club entry fees.
6'1", 197.
How you sure about that?
Yep.
What's his Madden height?
We'll check that later.
That's the only one you can trust is the Madden height. If we're being honest.
All right, moving on. To take or tangent. Here we go.
It's cold as shit out here.
Take or tangent.
All right. Von Miller turned himself in for arrest warrant for allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend in Dallas. You have a take or tangent?
I can't talk about this, but it's weird because I saw also where it came out and she recanted the whole thing. So I'm just gonna stop talking about players and their domestic violence issues. Yeah, that's him. That's him. I have nothing to say on that.
Yeah, I agree. Just gotta let it play out. I feel like every time we talk about it, either way, right or wrong,
it gets worse.
It just gets worse. Yeah.
You find out more and more information. This is how you avoid Will and Jada. I just don't want to know. I don't know anything.
All right. Josh Giddey was caught in 4K with a 15 to 16 to 17-year-old. And some other one
she was like 15, bro. She probably just turned 15.
Take your tangent.
Yeah, I got a tangent. Yeah, all these black journalists at ESPN don't talk about white players the way they do. And yeah, when a white player, pretty much, y'all tried to kill John Morant, and this dude's a full-blown pedophile. Because, yeah, the state he's in, that's not okay. In America, in most states, that's not okay. In Australia, the DJs will consent, the age of the legal age of consent, I think, is like 15 or 16 in Australia. And I'm pretty sure somebody's always known that about him. They just kept this under wraps because he's an international player. But somebody's always known this information. This was probably always out there. There's just nobody checks it. Because it's not, convenient for the NBA narrative to be like, oh, yeah, one of your international players is a pedophile. Because you got no business being around a 15, 16, or even a 17-year-old when it's grown-ass women who will throw it on you for free.
I don't even know how they meet these girls, bro. That's what's weird to me.
Yeah, you do. You know how they meet them. The same way coaches who smash girls we know. The same girl The same girls who had boyfriends who were 20. The same dudes who graduated but then kept coming back 3 years later. We all know these people. We just give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
They hide amongst us.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to that, but yeah, I don't know how
you
Josh
don't know.
meets a 15-year-old.
I'm saying you don't know. He's an NBA player, and he's been doing it for a while. Obviously, I just told you he's from Australia. Legal age of consent is like 15.
What I'm saying is, how do you actually
doing that?
I'm saying, how do you actually meet these people? Like, it's not like there's a fucking 15 and pedo mixer. Like,
I mean, have you heard of NAMBLA? That's a real thing, bro.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't even think I want to know what the fuck that is.
You don't watch South Park all these years? That wasn't just
I haven't
a joke.
watched South Park since '97.
No, bro, NAMBLA is a real thing. It's actually kind of horrifying.
I don't know what the fuck that is, bro.
I'm about to tell you. It's like the National Association for Boy Man Love or something like that. Pretty much like they don't see themselves as pedophiles. They think age is a fictional concept, like how race is a social construct. They think age is not a real thing. Love is love,
technically,
no matter how old you are.
Technically, it was legal until the 20s.
Labor unions.
Mm-hmm.
People have been doing foul, disgusting things to children since the beginning of time. For being
Pretty
honest.
much.
And people keep finding justifications for it because they killed kids during war. So I'm just saying.
Pretty much.
When it comes to this Giddy thing, I think everybody at ESPN, like Malika, who has it in for black dudes, but we ain't gonna talk about her white husband. But she has a Instagram with how she covers black athletes because they crucified Brandon Miller, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure if he knew his teammate was gonna take that gun and murder someone, he wouldn't have given them the gun because that's like he was already considered a top 2 pick before that happened. So when that came out, it's like you're trying to make this kid a murderer, and I'm pretty sure in Alabama, since it's open carry, he had a pistol. Everybody got a pistol. Like, that's why when we went out there for Senior Bowl, I was like, be careful with the interactions because you never know who's carrying. Like, be polite, respectful wherever you go because somebody will pull it out on you. Like, I'm saying, like, when it comes to the way the Giddy thing has been reported, he should have been suspended. There's video. The girl came out and said she did it. Like,
well, the problem is a couple things. The problem is
we see way less for domestic violence.
The problem is
weird
like you mentioned, the Australia part of it, but also Oklahoma, the state of consent is 16, which is nasty and weird. And then the last kicker is the parents and the girl are not cooperating and they're not pressing charges. So it's like you can't do anything.
And that's one of two things too. Either he gave them some hush money and she really did, like, she was actually smashing him and it was consensual, but you can't openly say that because it would look bad publicly. And he gave her some bread to be quiet, or she wants to be. Because I saw a video where wasn't she like drunk at a concert when she said it? So it's like,
yeah, like why were you at the concert, bro? Yeah,
like why were you drinking? But if she said that in Australia at 15, well, legally she's. I don't know. That's just nasty and weird to me. Oh, that's just nasty and weird to me. I don't even like talking to chicks 21. Like,
all right.
I'm 31. You're 21. This is already awkward.
Next one. This one's kind of off the beaten path, but Mark Cuban sold him his majority stake in the Mavs. It's also quitting Shark Tank. He's still going to be part. He's still going to be part of the organization. Still going to be ahead of it.
GM, pretty much.
But he sold it to the Adelson family, which already had a minority stake. But
like 1% of her wealth is what she sold that shit for. Like, she sold it, and it's like no percentage of her wealth that's even like meaningful.
But yeah, so the speculation now is that the team could be headed to Vegas. The Adelsons had a big part kind of in bringing the Raiders to Vegas and really bringing all the professional sports there. So that's kind of why the speculation is there.
I don't want to see Luka and Kyrie in Vegas. I don't want to be in Vegas and then like some people usually like.
I can't imagine Dallas not having an NBA team, even though they already have Houston and San Antonio,
you take a team out of Dallas, Texas,
and Oklahoma City's not that far either.
They are printing money in that building. Why the fuck would you ever do that? I'd rather you just create another team. So move the Nets again. Move Charlotte. No team in Charlotte in the state of North Carolina is successful. Get the Bobcats and send them to Seattle. Let Melo be a fucking Seattle Bobcat or whatever.
All right, last one. People are calling Bland the defensive player of the year.
He should be.
Take your tangent, Kenny.
Tangent. I was going to interview him at the NFLPA game, and I didn't. I already had like 50 people, and I stopped. And he also looked like he didn't feel like talking to nobody. And that's my one regret because I studied him. He went to Sac State and then transferred to Fresno State, balled out. I was like, shit, how many Fresno State DBs have I interviewed? If you interview one, you interview all of them. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have took that interview. But hey, you can't interview everybody. But in his case, yeah, he should be defensive player of the year. That's insanely hard to do. He has more touchdowns than like most receivers. Like he has more touchdowns than like elite receivers. More touchdowns than Chase. He has more touchdowns than every player on the New York Jets.
That's wild.
Damn near combined.
All right, fair fade.
Deion Sanders ain't even do that. Deion Sanders ain't even do that.
Fair fade. Quick one here. But I forgot who the Patriots played last week, but
doesn't matter. That's that.
Jabril Peppers was pretty much like he was talking shit, and he was
the
like,
Giants.
Oh yeah, the Giants. And he was like he was mic'd up, and he was like,
"You better be glad we suck ass.
You lucky we suck ass." Fair or fade to say your team sucks ass, Kenny?
I mean, it's true. He went to Michigan. Saquon went to Penn State. I think they played in college almost around. They might have. I think Jabril was before him, but it makes sense. They do suck ass.
The Giants.
He's the leader on that team.
They played with the Giants together.
I think with Jabril Peppers. I wish the Raiders would have signed Jabril Peppers, but he seems like a perfect fit in New England. Perfect Bill Belichick guy at safety. He do it all.
Really resurrected his career there so far.
Yeah. I think if he was on a contender, shit would be over. It'd be a wrap.
All right, Kenny. Well, let's bring it home. Rants. Anything you want to say before you sign off?
Yeah, I'm gonna order some food at this bus station. Our bus comes in like 3 hours. I'm fucking starving. I'm just thankful I had the chance to cover the Pac-12 championship, the last one ever. As a child, I grew up watching it. I sat in that press box and I didn't really want to leave. Once the game was over, it was kind of like a piece of my childhood evaporated. And it's sad. I mean, the media people they put in, the media people, interns, all that. There's a lot of people going to be losing their jobs. Feel bad for them. And I'm thankful I got to be a part of that. Like, and I'm thankful, like, especially this year, I wrote a lot of stuff off my checklist. I felt real scorned when I didn't get that Rose Bowl credential. And I felt like I should have. Been covering Utah and the Pac-12 and all this, and I don't get one for the game. But it just so happens how fate worked out. I went and covered USC Tulane, which sparked off a whole new set of opportunities for me. So I'm really happy with myself with the fact that I even attempted this shit because I got work at 2:00 tomorrow. I work like for the next 4 straight days, 2 to 10 every day for 4 days. I'm missing my sister's birthday. But I'm going to take her out for her birthday when I get back to town. So, love you, Chelsea. Happy birthday. December 5th. And I'm just glad this worked out. Got the interviews. One of the media people purposely sought me out. I was like, I love your professionalism and the way you work and the way you do things. And, you did a great job in Vegas. And then you did another great job here, for a second time for the media day and, Mountain West Championship. It was kind of bittersweet not seeing Andy hold that trophy up That'd have been really cool. That'd have been a lot to talk about. Just between me and you, that'd have been really cool to see. Him turn it around, and I think he could have won. I don't think that decision needed to be made. I still think they did need to fire him. But it is what it is. But I'm also glad, as far as this year, me and, we're doing this shit out of our own pockets. Like, I don't get paid to be here. I'm not getting paid at all. I'm losing money being here. But it's a sacrifice I'm always willing to make for my craft, and I went to school for this shit. And it's like seeing more and more people come up to me and recognize my work. People who saw me at a media day 2 years ago and be like, "Hey man, I remember you." That's for me, it's a blessing because, in a sense, I am living out my dream. Sometimes, sometimes dreams have some nightmarish qualities to it. Sometimes it looks worse than it actually is. You just gotta kind of maintain your composure. But I'm thankful for it. Thankful for my support system and people I got in my corner. And I really don't want to see SEC teams in the playoffs. But the SEC they play themselves.
All right.
And then that's pretty much it. Sorry, somebody's yelling in the background.
All right, yeah. So for me, man, it's been a hell of a week as always, but I had a great Thanksgiving. It was good to catch up with my family, see what's going on with everyone. It's crazy now because my family has really multiplied. Everyone got kids, so it's there were so many young babies running around, and it's hard to keep track of who's who, but it's kind of what I grew up around. But now all those kids, they now got kids, so it was nice to kind of be in that environment. It makes you kind of makes you feel like the people that are no longer here are kind of happy, they're around. They're good to see you guys still being around each other, even though they're not around. So that was one thing that I was kind of grateful for. Outside of that, man, proud of you, Kenny. Keep it up, bro. Got to work on your photography and videography skills, but there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Lifetime.
There's no doubt you're a hell of a reporter. Just gotta figure out the distribution part of it and the content part of it, but no doubt you definitely know ball and you definitely know how to gather information. So props to you. I'm proud of you for going out there and making it happen on a whim, pretty much. Motherfucker didn't even have an ID, didn't even know what time he was going to leave, was waiting on some money to move. But he figured it out, made it happen, so proud of you for that.
That's the craziest part. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really still don't have my California ID yet. What the fuck?
Yeah, so.
Still not here.
But yeah, so you made it happen. Proud of you for that. And I'm just looking forward to closing out this month and this year and whatever new great stuff 2024 brings. I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, grateful for that. Grateful for the valleys and the mountains this year, but ready for some new highs next year. Definitely. Once those loans come off my credit, shit about to be wild. But yeah. All right, man. Well, this is Touchdowns and Tangents. You can catch us every week, touchdownsandtangents.com, your favorite podcast app, TDs_tangents on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, yeah, and I should have said this in my rant, but to Kenny's point earlier, it's bittersweet because, obviously I've been a member of the Boise family now for over 20 years. And to see the way that he kind of just scorned my cousin just out of nowhere and didn't even give him the opportunity to address the media one last time, it kind of sucks. But, anytime they can bring home the Mountain West, it's something to smile about. So happy for the Big Blue. Sad it wasn't that full circle moment for Andy, but I think he'll land on his feet somewhere as a defensive coordinator. And
maybe UCLA.
Yeah, sure. Why not? All right. Well, touchdowns and tangents. We're out. Peace.
Peace.